the Bucks, and them and the Seahawks played the first ever NFL game in Munich, Germany. First of all, before we get into the game itself, it was pretty cool to see. Germany has one of the best atmospheres in the world. They played it in the Allianz Arena, I believe, which is Bayern Munich Stadium. And it was a beautiful atmosphere. It was a great game. And I saw the clip that went viral after the game, Tom Brady doing his post-game interview, and those German fans are like they do in soccer or football, European football. But they stayed in the stadium for like I don't know exactly how long after the game, but they were sitting there and no one had left the crowd, and they're chanting and they're singing like they do for soccer. And it was beautiful to see. It's
a completely different,
It's completely different. Yeah. It's cool. And before I hand this off to you, I will say, and you might have potentially have said this, but it was cool to see, even though I don't like the guy, Tom Brady becomes the first quarterback to win in 4 different countries. That's pretty damn cool.
The GOAT does what GOAT does.
Yeah, I give him that. But, I'll go ahead and pass this one off to you. Just your thoughts on this game, kind of as a Bucs fan.
My Super Bowl pick is alive. We are still alive. I told you this when we watched the last possession in the Rams Bucs game, that God. if they pull this off, that it could catapult this team just the same way they did the first year that they were assembled. And now, they went to Munich and they played what a lot of people are saying is a hot fire Seahawks team with a guy that is a real actual dark horse for maybe Geno Smith. And this is a legit team, the Seahawks. They've been playing well. And we finally saw the Bucs run the fucking football effectively, because that was really a stranglehold on them that they kept on just trying to give it to Leonard Fournette. Hopefully Leonard Fournette was basically I remember towards the Rams game, he had like negative yardage. And at a certain point, he had negative yardage.
No, it was getting bad.
And they were finally able to switch it up. And I had to get my boy's name. I always forget his damn name.
What is it? White? Rashad White? You talking about?
Right, yeah, Rashad White. So Rashad White, he got a $105 in rushing, and combining with Leonard Fournette, he got 54. They both basically combined for 160 yards rushing. That'll win you games. That enough will win you games. And the fact that people now, the Seahawks had to respect the run. It gets the receivers just a little more wide open, because even against the Rams, seven interceptions, not interceptions, but seven throws dropped by Brady's receivers. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be consistently what's going to happen. But now they're starting to get it a little bit. They're starting to catch it. And this is what I thought could happen after they pull out such an ugly game that was, the Rams and Bucs. But the fact they were able to pull it out of the fire, and now they went to Munich and got a win against a pretty good Seahawks team. I told you, I would not be surprised if they don't lose another game. I would not be surprised. That this is what this team is built on. It's built on the belief of that we have that one guy. We have the guy. And to add to the fact, Tom Brady is now 2-0 after being divorced. This is what we've wanted and we've been waiting for. Since he's been officially divorced, 2-0 undefeated. He's back.
Yeah, initially, I'll say, first of all, the Bucs' upcoming schedule, to your point, I just want to get your thoughts on this, and I'll give my thoughts, but then I'm going to give my thoughts on the game. But
yeah,
the Bucs' upcoming schedule, they got the Browns, the Saints, the 49ers, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Panthers, and the Falcons. I'm going to just go ahead and say, this is an easy-ass schedule. At the end of the day, this schedule is ass.
Other than the Saints that have always been in trouble for Tom, it's pretty. Yeah, it's definitely,
I respect the 49ers. I respect the 49ers more than the Saints. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about more like matchup-wise.
No, I would say obviously the Saints typically own the Bucs per se, so that'll be one. No, that's going to be a tough one.
Tom Brady for a sense. They've always played well against Tom.
Pretty much. For me, the Saints, they're not realistically, they've been playing bad. I would be, besides the fact that they kind of own them and they own Brady, I expect the Bucs to win that game. The only real difficult games I'm counting here is the 49ers and the Bengals, and I think that they have a chance to win both of those games. They probably have a better chance at the Bengals than they do the 49ers. But all things considered, this is an easy-ass schedule. So to your point, they might not lose another game. They might not. But does that mean that they could be going into the playoffs potentially on a however long winning streak? Well, I don't know what that would be. Potentially 9-game winning streak. Does this all of a sudden mean the Bucs are going to be contenders? No, the Bucs are not contenders. They are not. There are still fundamental issues with this football team. And sure, they were always going to make the playoffs because they were better than every other team in the sorry NFC South, the worst division in football. They were always going to make the playoffs. They might win a playoff game, but they are not winning the Super Bowl. They are not contenders. There are still fundamental issues with this football team. And one game of them being able to rush the ball effectively does not prove for me that they're going to be good long-term with it. They're going to have to sustain this, improve it. And my opinion might change. I might hold my hands up and say, they are technically contenders. But as of right now, I'm not just going to fully buy in because let's be honest. They won against a trash Rams team, which took the last second. And you were there. I saw how mad you were because of how bad the Bucs were. And all of a sudden, they with 40 seconds left, they get the ball back and they're able to get the touchdown.
That's all they needed.
I hold my hands up and say, that's a good result for them. But let's not act like they played good in that game. They played a good game against the Seahawks. I'll give them that. But I'm not ready to go, oh, my God, the Bucs are back. They are making the Super Bowl. They're contenders. No. Let's not get it twisted here. I'm taking a few other teams here in the NFC before I'm even thinking about the Bucs. Give me the 49ers over them. Give me the Eagles over them. Give me the Vikings over them. That's just what it is. You don't want to bet against the GOAT, but I'm not 100% convinced. I'm not 100% convinced, out of this moment.
Okay.
But I would say one thing that is a little bit worrisome, for me, that I might have to bite my tongue, on what I've said. It looks as if, and I'll get your thoughts on this. It looks as if Julio Jones has turned a corner, and it looks like he's not quite, old Julio Jones or whatever.
He's not old Julio.
But he's looking effective, and he's able to do his thing. I don't have the stats exactly here, but
he had a couple of good catches, and Brady was finding him, and that's another thing coming off that, going back to the Rams game. God, did he look every bit of washed that versus the Rams. He just looked putrid. But then again, I don't expect much from Julio. It's kind of like one of those, it's an X factor that if Julio just so happens to show up, you have Julio Jones. But that
was, I would say a main reason why they were able to pull this off against the Seahawks was because Julio Jones showed up.
Yeah, like it's definitely
if he's going to remain consistent, or at least somewhat consistent like this, he doesn't have to quite be as good as he was on Sunday. But if he's somewhat like this, the Bucs might have a case here.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the, I believe it was the game, one of the first games they've had Cameron Brate back, and I think it's either Cameron Brate that he came back this game or against the Rams. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that Cameron Brate did play well in this game, and it gives them a little bit more because it's better than I get they're running a rookie at tight end when Brate's out. But Cameron Brate is no bum.
No, he's not.
He's pretty decent. That's another thing to give. He's not Gronk, but it's something different to give Tom because Tom loves his tight ends.
Oh no, he does. That's what he's not made his career on, but he kind of has in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense of having one of the greatest ones of all time. But having that, just adding more dimensions to this offense, because at a point this offense looks so one dimensional. Three and out. Can't run a lick. Tom Brady's throwing the ball 50 damn times. It's like it's shit you you're not, you got to go back to this old style football where, you're handing the ball, you're running the ball, switching it up, not only making Leonard Fournette the only fucking guy running the ball. Cause that's, Leonard Fournette's pretty good, but as your go-to, always go to him, that's not going to work.
No, not anymore.
No.
He's not that, but they finally have gotten, that Rachaad White fully involved. And, if they're able to really keep that duo going with, make it more of a duo, similar to Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, like the Cowboys have, then the Bucs, they might be a little bit more going forward.
They'll definitely, a little definitely free up some space, because that was, weirdly enough, it either plays into it, plays not to play into like how good your offense can be, because a lot of times that the Bucs were getting, we saw Mike Evans and Chris Godwin just like be ineffective for so many games in the season just because teams didn't respect the run.
Yeah,
because they're like, we're just gonna have all our guys, focus on your receivers because you're just going to throw the damn ball. You're not running it because you guys can't run.
The problems with the Bucs was running on the offense. They can run, but then they couldn't stop the run. And they kind of were, in a sense, were able to not necessarily 100% fix both of those problems, because to fix the problem, you have to be consistent. We'll see next game. We'll see going forward how it looks. But the Seahawks, they got a rookie of the year candidate, currently at running back, and they were able to hold him to Kenneth Walker Jr. They were able to hold him to relatively, a quiet game, all things considered. So you have to give them credit where credit is due, but going forward, I'm not ready to say anything crazy, like they're back. The old Bucs are back.
We will see.